What's good, everybody? We are finally back with another video. I know it's been a little bit, but I was in the process of moving. Took a little bit to move all my stuff, the car, everything else, but we're finally back. And if you guys can't tell by the clips or just kind of the short little video at the beginning, we actually did indeed get a bigger garage. Honestly, the video probably doesn't even do justice of how big this garage actually is compared to the last one. I also did hang up some more lights as well, just so then it's easier to work on the car and the lighting is much better. Just before I kind of moved, I did a few things on the car. I didn't film too much of it because I just wanted to get it done. But we did put in brand new fuel lines, new fuel sender lines. We put in the fuel pump. We put in the pedals. We did the brand new gauge cluster harness, wired all that in. We did brand new spark plugs, and we also did new valve cover gaskets. And we cleaned up a good majority of that. In the process of moving everything, I just threw on the hood, the bumper, the headlights, the grill, just kind of a bunch of miscellaneous stuff, just so that way I didn't have to take as much separately. You can also see that the car is still packed with some stuff kind of scattered everywhere, but mind you, the whole entire car was packed with parts and a bunch of other stuff. The whole entire back seat was filled, all the front seats were filled with stuff. It was jam-packed. I might have also forgot to mention that I did also put in the fuel tank when I put in all the other fuel-related stuff. Now that you guys are kind of all caught up to speed, I'm sure I missed a few things. We can finally start working on the car once again. I know that we need to take off the hood, the front bumper, just everything kind of in the front to get easier access to the motor. And I also know that we need to wire in one more wire on the fuel pump because it was cut before. Not sure what else we're going to get into, but I guess we'll see as we go. As you can see on this wire right here, we just need to reattach it to this one right here. Then the fuel pump should be good to go. Fuel pump should be all wired up and ready to go. Got it looking pretty decent. I do need to get the bolts off the parts car for this outer shield piece. Now it's just on to disassembling the front end. Got the hood off and the whole front end off. We also need to take off the intake manifold again and the throttle body and just all this stuff up top. So then we can put the wiring harness back on. Now that we got the intake manifold and the throttle body off, it should be easier to try and install the engine harness. I hope. If I can remember everything plugs in, because that I was just unplugging stuff and trying to get the harness out. So hopefully I can remember where everything goes and we can get this harness in and we'll be one step closer. got a majority of the plugs all plugged in on this side, besides like the injectors. I mean, the top stuff I still have to do, but most of the stuff on the underside of the intake manifold here I got. But I don't know if you can see that, but there's a plug right down there. That plug took me about 20 minutes to get in because it's right next to the starter, like right next to it. But we got it. We hit just a little bit of a roadblock. I did forget that I left the power steering line in the parts car. I took it off the motor when I took the motor out, and then I just put it in the parts car, and I forgot to take it out. So the reason why I can't use this one is because it doesn't have one. Steering line out of the parts car, and I'll be back. Got the power steering line. I just grabbed the whole assembly, even though I only needed the one line. Just grabbed the whole assembly because this one does kind of have some cracks on the line, so I just thought I might as well grab this one. So we're just going to throw this on real quick, and we should have a good majority of this underside kind of area done, and just keep going from there. There's a bolt right here that I must have snapped the head off, and it's kind of important because it's a ground. So trying to get this bolt out, it's kind of in a crappy spot, but we should be able to get it out. Finally, after a little bit, we got the ECU all plugged in, hopefully right. Took a lot of pictures of that, so. We also got that strip bolt out, and we got a new ground in there. That was definitely not too fun. Let me go over here. But there it is right there. Now that we got that side decently wrapped up, we're going to put the intake manifold back on, make sure we got everything where it needs to be, hopefully, and then we're going to be moving on to the throttle body, kind of the top of the motor, and hopefully onto the passenger side. We got the intake manifold on and the throttle body. It's onto this side of the wiring harness. And I probably spent the last hour trying to figure out where this ground goes. Finally figured out where it went, and it's in the fuse box, but that should not have been that difficult. Now that we got the heater core hoses plugged back in, we also got the alternator and everything around there plugged back in. We're going to be putting in the headers. Now, yes, you're probably wondering, why am I putting the old headers back in there? Well, just for the time being, that's what we're going to put in there until we for sure know that the motor and everything else runs good. And let me tell you, these stock headers are a pain to get back in there. If you've ever had an is300 and you've taken them in and out, you know. So I'm hoping that we can get them in there without scratching up a bunch of stuff. all we had to do was take out this bracket really and move this thing around a little bit, and we got the headers to pop on. Now I'm just gonna bolt all those on and plug in a few more things, and we should have a good majority of it in. After getting those exhaust bolts in, here's kind of where we're sitting right now. Went a little bit haywire on getting all this stuff in, but it's in. Got the battery hooked up. Let's just see if it turns on. Now, if you do kind of remember, I did rewire a new gauge cluster harness in here. And it does have power. As you just saw, we do have power to the inside of the car, but we are having some other kind of wire gremlins, which are to be expected when we do that much wiring stuff to a car. Such as, I mean, you can kind of see I was messing with it here, but I can't get any power to this wire, so we took all this apart again, and I can't get any power to the fuel pump. I took the tester to it, and I was not getting 12 volts. So somewhere in here, we're losing power, and I also cannot get the car to even crank just a little bit. I got the clutch pushed in, and nothing. So we'll have to figure all that out. I did put motor oil in there just in case it did decide to crank over, but we got nothing. We got a lot of work to still do on the car. Now we got wire gremlins to chase, which was to be expected. I made sure that all the grounds were tightened down. All the grounds are tightened down, so it's just to find those probably in the next video. Other than that, I appreciate you guys for watching. I got a lot done on the car today. One step closer to hopefully getting it started. And if you guys are new, make sure to like and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video. We got plenty more to come, and I'll see you in the next one.